Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in our Fortnite video, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the best settings to have for controller or for console, Xbox, whatever you guys have. I'm going to be showing you guys the settings that I use and what I would recommend. So if you guys have any questions about settings or anything like that, I'm going to be covering everything in this video. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway for Fortnite Chapter 2. If you guys want to be entered in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys turn on my post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video, and as well, leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And real quick, if you guys want to support me as a creator in the item shop, my code is YoungHumor. So if you guys want to support me, definitely put in my code. It helps me out a ton. I definitely appreciate it. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I want to be covering and going over the settings that I currently have, and give you guys some suggestions on the settings that I think you guys should use, and kind of the changes that I saw when it came to the new update, and also the settings that came with it, because there is one thing that I want to talk about specifically that is really important, especially when it comes to the aim assist in the game. I'm going to be going over that. For those of you guys who watch my stream, you guys know exactly what I was talking about, but I wanted to be going over and covering that change, which honestly is a pretty major change, but I'm going to be covering that change and also just be going over all the settings that I currently have. So going over to my settings, here I just have like the first screen. You guys can look at that if you want, but this is mainly what the most important thing is. You have my controller XY sensitivity, targeting sensitivity, scope sensitivity, building sensitivity, editing sensitivity. So controller X sensitivity, I have a 0.65, and I've been hovering between 0.65 and 0.675, and these are the two things I've been hovering around. I haven't really decided which one I like yet. I kind of like it a little bit more just for like it helps, building's a little bit quicker, editing's a little bit quicker. So I kind of like that, and I might end up changing it back to 6.5. So those are the two sensitivity I've been hovering around. I moved it up to an 8 recently, but I just personally, it just feels really bad when I first get on. I really can't control it. So those are two X and Y sensitivities I would recommend. I usually have it the same. Some people have a higher X, but I personally just like to keep it the exact same. Controller target sensitivity, I personally would like to have between like a 0.25 and a 0.3. I like to keep mine in the middle at 0.275. I mean, you can have it at 0.3, be perfectly fine. For controller building sensitivity, I almost have it max. I have it at 1.951. It's just what I have it at. You can max it out. Probably would not make that much of a difference. Max controller edit mode sensitivity, I would always recommend having it on max, whatever sensitivity you play on. HUD scale, have that at a 0.85. I like to keep it a little bit lower just because it gives you a little bit more room to see. So here I have sprint by default. Obviously have that on. Tap to search to direct, have that on. All these are pretty much default. Aim assist, edit mode aim assist, that's a big one. I like to have that on because it makes such a huge difference when it comes to editing, and that's a huge thing that I always recommend having on. And that was like my main concern when they end up changing it. For some reason it didn't work for the first like couple hours, and then I don't know if like an update happened or something switched, but then it started working. So you are able to use edit mode aim assist, so I definitely have that on. Everything else, auto open doors, that's another thing I've turned on recently. I'll explain a little bit later why, but that's a really important thing that helps me out a ton when it comes to building. Auto open doors. Confirm edit on release, I have that on. I'll make another video fully explaining why this is really good and how to practice with it, but this is something that can be very useful and can improve your editing, so definitely turn it on. I'd recommend having it on. And then you have auto sort consumables to the right, have that on. Builder Pro, build immediately on, and then controller edit hold time, of course I have it on the lowest possible you can have, because you want to be able to edit as quickly as possible. And then everything else is just kind of like the normal default, nothing there. And so into the next settings, we have, if you're not using the current settings like the previous ones, then you might be changing stuff in here. I don't really mess with this at all. I don't really like it too much, and personally I just have it off. And if you guys want to use the old settings, all you do is turn the legacy on. You can use the old settings, and that's exactly what I do, because I don't really like to have to go through all that new stuff, and it's just not as good. And you can't have edit mode aim assist, which I really do like, so that's a huge red flag and the reason why I don't use it. And so colorblines, I have it off, but some people I like to have on this colorblind. They have it like a 7, 8, around there, and actually can make the colors pop a little bit more. So that's a colorblind setting. If you're looking to have a little bit better colors in your game, you can definitely have those that setting on. I definitely recommend trying that one. The other ones, there's one that you can see in the storm a little bit more if you're playing like Zone Wars or something like that. You can use that, but the other ones, they aren't relevant unless you have a little bit of colorblind. So here's just my controller settings and everything like that. And of course, not everyone's gonna have the exact same, but if you guys want to see what mine is, these are the ones that I have. And keep in mind, I don't have any button binded for the emote. I just use my keyboard. I just tap on like Y or whatever key I have binded, and then I'll do an emote through that. So that's what I use to do emotes. And so here are my combat controls, and I edit. Of course, if you guys already know what I play with a Elite controller. I use the paddles on the back. I use all 4 paddles. I use jump, build, edit, and confirm. So when I have my edit and confirm binded to on my D-pad. So my edit is right on my D-pad, and then confirm is left on my D-pad. And that's exactly what I use when I want to go for edit and confirms. I have it binded, and as you can see, my confirm is on here. And this is the layout that you want to have if you want to have the same type of binds as me. And it just makes it a lot easier personally, just having it on the back. Some people use the left stick to edit, and that's totally cool. Some people use, dude, I've heard a lot of people use some crazy type of stuff. People really use anything, because a lot of people do play claw. I personally don't. I just have the Elite controller. I just use all the paddles, so I hold it normally, and I'm still able to use everything just fine. The only time I have to take my finger off the right analog stick is maybe if I'm pressing Y to change my pickaxe, and when I'm reloading weapons. Otherwise, I don't really have any issues with it. And so for dead zones, I know a lot of you guys care about this. I was kind of surprised. A lot of you guys care a little bit more about dead zones than I thought you guys would. But I have it on 0.16 on both. I did have it on 0.4, but on the right stick, it kind of was like swerving a little bit. It wasn't exactly stable as I thought it was. Maybe I dropped my controller one too many times. So I bumped it up to 0.16. And I think this is a really good balance for me. And it's all personal preference, because when it comes to dead zones, it's really based on your controller, and some controllers are a little bit more sensitive than others, because if it's really new, it's going to be a lot more sensitive, and if it's older and you dropped it a few times, then it is going to be a little bit more busted than before. And also another thing I wanted to mention when it comes to your building sensitivity, and so like I past like 2 weeks ago, I tried out a little bit higher of an X and Y sensitivity. I put it on above an 8. But when you do this, you definitely want to lower your building sensitivity a little bit. I wouldn't recommend having max building sensitivity and then having like a crazy high X and Y. It's just going to be all over the place. So if you do end up raising your X and Y sensitivity up a little bit, I would recommend lowering your building sensitivity. Edit mode sensitivity, I'd recommend having that always on a 2. Pretty much no matter what sense. Maybe if you're playing like a 10-10 or something crazy, I wouldn't recommend. I feel like it'd be really too hard to aim with that. But if you do play on something higher, then you could lower it. But I always recommend having a 2 edit mode. 2 edit mode sensitivity. But when building sensitivity, if you do play on above an 8, I would recommend having a little bit lower than what I have on now. But if you do play on a lower X and Y, I would say below a 7, I would recommend almost having it max. I think that's really, really important. So as you guys saw, that is a reason why I use the the auto open doors, because a lot of times, sometimes you are going for an edit where you try to edit the bottom 3 squares to where you make the wall you're trying to edit in like a kind of diagonal type of thing. And sometimes you end up messing up that edit and accidentally making a door. It just makes it a lot easier that when you have auto open doors, it doesn't slow you down at all. So if you accidentally do something like that, it's not going to slow you down. You're still going to be able to get high ground right away. And the only problem that some people can say is it makes you auto open doors. So maybe you're at the beginning of a game, there's a building in front of you. But honestly, in my opinion, I've never really had issues with that. If I didn't want to open the door, I just don't walk next to it. So I never really had any issues with that whatsoever. And so the last thing I want to talk about is the aim. So when it comes to the ADS, the aim assist in the game now, they're basically forcing you to use the new one. I don't know if this is like just a glitch or the way it is, but they're basically forcing you to use the new aim assist, which I'm not a fan of. It's better for tracking, but not as good for like locking on, and that's kind of what I like the aim assist for. So it's kind of a disappointment, but I kind of just have to get used to the new aim assist that's going to be currently in the game now. So the way the aim assist works now, it's a little bit more zoomed in, so it's better for tracking, but it doesn't snap on as more. As you can see, when I ADS, you can see pretty far, so it's really good for tracking. You can see the other people very, very well. The only issue, like I said, it's not as snappy. It's just not as snappy when it comes to those close range fights, shotguns, or anything like that, which is kind of unfortunate. It's just how it is, but that's just the way it is. At least they have the edit mode aim assist that's still in the game, and that's why I still use the old sensitivity. So with that being said, that's gonna wrap up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.